was a much more personal relationship. You know, it was family. That's what you were to me.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. I'm sure many of you guys have watched those FST7 videos of Hany Rambod and Jeremy Buendia more than 10 years back, and many of you guys have followed Hany and Jeremy's dominant men's physique Olympia reign for 4 years straight, when Jeremy was just so untouchable, and he was probably one of the most popular guy in the pro league back in those years, and even his biggest rivals like Brendan Hendrickson and Andre Ferguson, they give him the due credit that the man just played such a big role in elevating the men's physique standards to a whole different level, and the category was just never the same after Jeremy retired back in 2019. Now, if you guys remember all of that, then you must watch the latest episode of Hany Rambod's podcast, The Truth with Jeremy Buendia, because the relationship between him and Hany Rambod, that kind of ended on a very bad note, and it all started with Jeremy losing the Olympia title in 2018.
It was a much more personal relationship. You know, it was family. That's what you were to me. So that's why it was so hard, and that's why I beat myself up for so many years for the way things ended between you and I, because it was my fault. And it sucked, man.
So this is a very raw episode with plenty of emotions from both sides, from both these gentlemen. And as Jeremy gets ready to get on the stage for one last time, he also signifies what it felt like training in his prime when he had no injuries whatsoever, compared to now, today, when he is 34 years old. And he had such an interesting answer. What problem does he have with training right now?
Body's beat up. It's not the same as it used to be. It's not as fun training anymore because of the injuries and
What's hurting on you now?
everything.
Shoulders.
Everything, honey. You know, getting out of bed in the morning, my lower back, it takes me forever to get loosened up.
Now, this episode will give you such a different perspective about Jeremy Buendia and how his personality has totally evolved over the years. Because he was a villain-like figure back when he was at his prime, when he was winning all those Miss Olympias. And that was because of his temperament. And he had a big following, but at the same time, he had a lot of haters as well. And that, of course, was because of his attitude. So there was a lot of drama that happened in 2019 onwards that made almost every one of his sponsors drop him at that time due to all the pressure from social media. Now that being said, he is still the GOAT of men's physique division, because winning 4 titles in a row in any division, that is something truly special.
I mean, you were the standard for many years. And so I'm just like, he doesn't have to win, but just I hope he looks good. And I didn't get to see it.
I didn't look that good.
And that 2017 physique, that is still one of the greatest physique to ever step on the men's physique Olympia stage, or on any stage for that matter. I do, however, disagree with him big time over this idea that he really thought he can take 4 years off, come back, and win the Olympia title back in 2023.
I thought I was going to win going into Orlando. You know, I really did. I thought I had everything I needed to bring, and, you know, it just kind of fell apart.
Orlando, you mean 2023 Olympia?
Yeah, 2023.
Yes.
So what kind of expectations do you guys have for Jeremy Buendia as he preps for potentially the last show of his career, which can possibly be the Olympia this year? Next up is the physique update of Marc Hector, the guy who made such a successful comeback after almost 2 years at the Big Man Weekend Spain by placing top 4 in that kind of lineup. Now just being able to compete after getting 2 shoulder surgeries done, that in itself is something to be so proud of and something to take a lot of joy in. But he not only competed, he beat a guy like Andre Presti, who we all know has his weaknesses, but at the same time, he has been able to qualify for the Olympia for 3 years in a row. So that must have given Marc one hell of a confidence boost. So the man is enjoying this post-show phase, as this update marks 4 weeks since his last show. And this upcoming off-season, that is gonna be a very crucial one, because that is gonna determine whether he can qualify for this upcoming Miss Olympia. Because he needs to make a lot of improvements, especially in his lower half and in his back. Because this 2024 version that we saw, that wasn't his best to date. He was a lot bigger and rounder during his run back in 2022. when he got beat by just 1 point in France against Patrick Johnson. Now Marc Hector always had a crazy upper body, but the quads definitely need to come back to create more balance, to create more of that illusion of having an X-frame and that V-taper. Now he also does fall in that category of very tall aesthetic bodybuilders with great shoulder to waist ratio. So I am looking forward to his return to the stage whenever he competes next time, which is gonna be sometime next year. And we all know that this upcoming season, that is most probably gonna be the most competitive one in the recent time. The former Arnold Classic champion in Classic Physique category, Alex Cambreonero, confirms that he is gonna be returning as the reigning Masters Olympia champion this year to defend his title. So the level of competition in Classic Physique that has just gone so up in the last few years that can be determined by this simple fact: how Alex's placings have declined over the last 4 years. I mean, the guy was 4th place at the Olympia back in 2020. He was able to win an Arnold title as well. And last year, he was even unable to qualify for the Olympia. He wasn't even able to win an Olympia qualifier. And that is because of the influx of such incredible talent in Classic Physique division, and secondly, age factor. And that is why I have always maintained this stance, that Breon Ansley will forever be a true legend in Classic. Because while those other guys, they just weren't able to keep up with all the young up-and-coming talent, Breon, on the other hand, he is still top 5 in the world. Now, as far as Alex's Masters Olympia title is concerned, I do not think anyone is gonna touch him, because he still had such a great physique even last year. And with the help of his coach, Neil Hill, he has been one of the most consistent guy when it comes to being shredded on the stage. Another day, another back workout for Andrew Jacked. And although his strength isn't peaking as of right now, as he said he's taking things slow, still the man is able to move 3.5 plates on bent over barbell rows with such an amazing composure and textbook form. So do you guys realize that all these guys, including Andrew Jacked, they are just 57 days away from stepping on the second biggest bodybuilding show of the year. And this might be the most important show for both Andrew Jacked as well as Derek Lunsford, because Samson Dauda is showing zero signs of slowing down, and it is gonna take something very special to beat a guy like Samson Dauda, who is the reigning Olympia champion. And I believe Andrew's Texas Pro look, that is gonna compare very well against both these guys, Derek and Samson. Now I wish we could really see some check-ins from this past Mr. Olympia prep of Andrew Jacked with Chris Acito and Psycho Fitness, and what they were looking at that made them so confident that Andrew was coming in to win the Olympia title. And Andrew himself said that he hates looking at the pictures and the videos from the Olympia last year because it all went south for him. Now there is no denying the fact that these two guys, Andrew and Samson, they have the most potential because these two are head and shoulders above the competition in terms of the genetic gifts and the kind of aesthetics that these guys have. Their structure is just so damn good, and it is all about peaking 100% on the day of the show. And as soon as Samson did that, he won the Olympia. Now, as a student of bodybuilding history, I would never take the words of Chris Acito lightly, because when everyone thought that Sean Roden was done in 2018, he was the only one who said Sean is gonna beat Phil Heath and win the Olympia, and that he did. Now, Sean started working with Chris Acito probably in 2014, and eventually he won the Olympia. And Andrew has been working with Chris Acito since 2023. So will these guys also create history in this upcoming season? Do let me know what you guys think. And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.